Well, good morning, folks. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Kavika Thompson. I am your colleague, System-Wide Manager of Health Improvement. I oversee, assist, and support all of the university's employee wellness programs. And today what we're here to be able to illustrate and help you to understand what we're doing is I'm going to talk a little bit about the overview of why wellness and why we're actually conducting and what we're actually doing through the Riseup program. We're going to talk a little bit about the journey that we've been on for the past 3 or 4 years. Then I'd like to be able to tell you how we're actually evolving, or actually where we're actually going to be going in this next year, going into the new calendar year of 2014. And then from there, what I'd like to be able to do is introduce and turn it over to Kate Kennedy, our client manager, with our new partner with Provant. At that point in time, you folks will be able to have most of your questions hopefully answered, of expediting the response of what it is that I need to be able to do for levels 1 and levels 2. Now, I've kind of told you who I am. I've also kind of given you an outline of what today's format is. What I also need to be able to do is full disclosure to make sure that you know who I am not. And who I am not is I am not part of any negotiations team. And I would appreciate it that if you have heard of any agreed or recently ratified contracts, or you've heard some language around that, I would appreciate it if you could actually keep that knowledge to yourself, because this is not the platform or the forum to be able to have those discussions. So with that being said, we can have our guests actually respond to what we're actually talking about in terms of the programs as well. So having said that, let's move right into our presentation. So why wellness? So what are we doing? We're actually trying to promote overall health. And what we need to understand is that I was here last year doing a similar promotion. We were doing it as part of the rollout with our medical plan as well. And to help you understand that in 2010, the Chancellor had actually brought together a group of individuals and had actually formed an employee health plan task force. The employee health plan task force was a group of individuals that was formed with administration, staff throughout the system, as well as individuals that were representatives of our respective collective bargaining units. And the task was to actually take a look at where our overall healthcare cost trends were actually looking at. In 2010, we had found that we, the University of Maine system, was actually spending well over $60 million on an annual basis, with an increased annual trend of 7.5 and increasing to grow within a 6 to 10 year period. That healthcare cost could easily double. So part of what the Chancellor was asking this task force to be able to do is to come up with some type of methodology, at least some guidance of how we could potentially actually lower our costs in healthcare. And one of the ways is through the vision of what we can do, or one of the components is through wellness. And the components of actually having the wellness program, of having the awareness and the education piece to hopefully move through behavior change and then eventually a culture change. Because the reality is, what we all need to be able to understand, again, Kavika, your colleague, is that we're a self-insured organization. And what does self-insured actually mean? It means that Cigna is our TPA. They're our third-party administrator. They're actually doing the billing process. As a self-insured organization, it means that you and I are actually paying for each other's as well as our own health care. So the reality is that if we have a colleague that has unfortunately had a heart attack, but the reality is that that individual, our colleague, could have had some preventative methodology to preventing that, it wouldn't have been as costly. So we needed to be able to provide some kind of tools that would help us to do that, so it's not coming out of my pocket as well as yours, as well as their own. So that's where we're currently at in terms of the model, and why we're actually looking at in terms of wellness. So our journey. So we know that our journey has actually started 4 years ago. And we started off with Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that was the big no-no, right? Having our medical plan, and what are they going to do with our data? We found out real quick that having an organization that is web-based only, it was not very personal, it was definitely not professionally done. So we made a quick change into the next year. We had actually gone out to bid, and we had actually put out an RFP. The request for proposal was actually looking for a non-vendor, a non-medical plan, a vendor that could actually partner with us, that could actually cover 4 major components. And the 4 major components was to be able to bring us at a foundation level with a health assessment that could help us to understand what our current health status actually was and what that actually meant. To had a module of biometrics in terms of knowing our numbers and what do those levels actually mean and how do we interpret those. Well, in terms of interpreting those, we needed that third component. That third component was having a lifestyle management coach. That lifestyle management coach was an individual that was going to help us to, again, not only be aware of where our current levels are, to have the opportunity of educational opportunities to be able to make it a change, perhaps, in behavior to enhance our particular current health status. And the last and fourth and final component was actually some type of computer technology, a portal process that would enable us to actually have that accountability piece where we can, if we didn't want or choose to actually do that live person piece, that we actually had the piece of where we can actually go into a portal and be able to have some correspondence with being able to navigate through the portal itself. Now, of course, we have had a huge amount of feedback. We finalized our third and final year with APS Healthcare. They actually did not respond to the RFP process as their national organization chose to actually move on and not continue the relationship and want to bid for our business. So we went out to bid in the RFP process. We had many of the individuals that were on the Employee Health Plan Task Force actually be part of this selection committee, as well as some of your own respective wellness ambassadors at your campus to be a part of the selection committee. And we wanted to make sure that not only did they cover those four components of health assessment, biometrics, having some type of lifestyle management coaching, but also the component of some type of portal compatibility as well with IT. Well, we'd also found out that we needed to, and we'd heard again the importance of system integrity and security. We wanted to know where our data was actually going. We want to make sure that it was secure, that someone was not actually taking it from us, was going to use it against us. So I want to let you know that our Chief Information Officer, our lawyers with the university system has done their due diligence on the University of Maine side, along with the Employee Health Plan Task Force, to bring us a partner that's going to provide us a less participation-oriented type program and more of an engagement piece. For the past 3 years, we've been oriented towards the process. Well, how do I actually navigate to a portal, and how do I actually know whether or not I've actually met my criteria or not? And for 3 years, remember, Kavika's your colleague, right? So I painfully went through it as well to find out whether or not I even actually met the criteria as well. It was difficult. So we needed to be able to go through the process of having the RFP process, of having our new partner make sure that they could actually respond to those things. So when we're looking at participation versus engagement, we wanted to embark on a kind of a new genre, if you will. And in the previous years, again, it was participation. So we know that when we started off, our participation rate was somewhere in between 10 to 12%. And as we evolved with the components, and of course when it was evolved with the negotiations, we found out that there was incentive to be a part of the participation portion of it as well. So the increase of participation went from a 10 to 12% up to somewhere between 89 to 92%. But what does this actually mean when we're talking about the business case or the change behavior piece of our health or our overall healthcare costs? Well, we didn't really receive a lot of data from our previous vendor to be able to make some significant changes. We certainly made some milestones of individuals that had actually found out that perhaps by preventative measures and or meeting with some of the coaches that they may have actually changed some of their lifestyles, but we needed a more familiarized relationship, intimate ability to be able to do that. So with our new partner that we actually have with Provant, and I'm going to introduce Kate Kennedy, our client manager, who's going to come up here, talk a little bit more about the platform and talk about what the empowerment and that ability to be able to work with relationship building at this point in time. So Kate Kennedy.
It's very nice to be with you this morning. I appreciate you all coming out and learning more about the program and learning more about your new wellness partner, Provant. So first of all, I just wanted to give you just a little bit of personal context. I am the daughter of 2 college professors, and so I feel that I've sort of grown up in the world of academia and on the college campus setting, and so I can appreciate a bit about your work environment here and your lifestyle, and it's one that I think personally I'm a little jealous of, but I think it's you work for a great institution. So I wanted to start first by giving you some information on Provant as an organization, And then we'll turn to looking at the platform, the Riseup program, and I would like to really focus on, so what's the same this year, and then what's different. And I hope what you'll take away from this presentation is an understanding of the changes that we've brought in with the new platform and the new relationship that will make this an easier experience for you and also a more personalized experience, and giving you the opportunity to get some more value out of the wellness program. So let me start first by giving you a little bit of background on Provant as an organization. We are one of the larger wellness providers across the country. We are headquartered in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, which is a little town right on the Narragansett Bay. And what you see on the slide here is that we do have 10,000 employees. Most of those employees are the individuals who would go out to the various work sites and perform the on-site biometric screenings. But in our headquarters in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, we have a group of about 200 or so individuals who are all hubbed in that one location and overseeing all of the components of your wellness program. It's a group of highly dedicated individuals, a group that I'm very proud to work with. And we work across about 1,400 client organizations. And so what that means for you is that we're able to bring a tremendous amount of experience working with many different types of organizations. And we've learned what works and maybe what doesn't work as well. And we are able to bring those best practices to your program. A little bit more on Provant and sort of what we stand for. The wellness industry, as you may or may not know, is one that's evolving. It's growing. Many companies, organizations are adopting wellness programs, expanding them. But, many people, when they think of wellness, it's, well, what do I need to do to get the incentive? What are the, hoops I need to jump through, et cetera? We like to take a different approach, and we like to think that with the services and the programs that we bring to you, we can bring a more personalized perspective, because we truly believe that we have the opportunity through our programming to provide you with some better insight on your current health status and maybe some educational opportunities, some tools, some resources, really giving you the opportunity to take in that information and decide if you wanted to make, some small tweaks or maybe some larger lifestyle changes to help you enable you to live your lives with a higher quality of life. So it's something that we, take personally and we take seriously. We actually have a video of our founder and CEO, Heather Provino, talking a little bit more about this philosophy that I'll show in just a moment. But first of all, I do want to emphasize, Kavika talked about the due diligence that the Employee Health Plan Task Force went through in selecting Provant as a vendor. And so this slide here, it's an awful lot of information, but really the takeaways here, what I want you to understand from this information is that, we take your personal health information very seriously. We treat it with care. We do not disclose your personal health information in any identifiable basis to the university, to your insurer, to any third parties, et cetera. So know that your data is entrusted with us. In terms of when we do come here on campus and perform those biometric screenings, the staff that we have that come on campus and all of the equipment that is used is all certified to ensure professionalism and accuracy. And then once the data, that biometric data and your health assessment data is collected and aggregated into our system, we take great care to ensure that that information is transmitted with care and is kept, securely within our four walls. So I mentioned the philosophy of life changing, and I want to turn now briefly to the video that we have here that's actually right on the portal, the Provant portal. So how many of you have actually been able to create an account on the portal so far? Okay, great. And how has that experience been for you? Has it been a little bit easier than it was in the past with your prior provider? Okay. Yeah. So but to create the account, was it an easier experience to create the account? Not to create the, okay. So, so we'll talk about that. I want to just run this video and then we'll talk about what information you need to create the account to make sure that you understand that we've tried to make it an easier experience for you. So let me play this and then we'll talk more about the program and the portal.
Why do we have to make people healthier? Why should people want to make themselves healthier? So we really came to the table in developing Provant to say, let's put people first. If you boil it down, wellness is so intimate to every individual. Think about it in your own lives. You all have different reasons for wanting to embrace health. What does health mean to you? Well, it may not mean lower premiums. It may not mean that we're going to bend the cost trend line. Better health to you may mean that you get to do what you love to do more often in a way that you enjoy life more. So for me, I love the outdoors. I love to be outdoors. I love to hike. I love wherever I am to be able to do whatever I want. So I'd love to jump on a bike or go for a hike in the woods. And if I don't have my health, I can't do the things that I love with the people that matter the most in my life. And therefore, my quality of life isn't where I want it to be. And that's really what Provant stands for. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it comes down to this philosophy about wellness is about changing lives. And changing lives doesn't mean that we have to make somebody go from being high risk to low risk, but it could just mean that we meet somebody where they are with their specific needs at that point of time and make sure that they understand that we're here to help them achieve what health and wellness means in their eyes.
Okay, so I hope that that gives you a little bit more of an illustration of the philosophy that we follow. And, you know, in the video, Heather talks about wellness being more personalized, and it really is sort of defined in your own eyes. What does wellness mean to you? And I can only, you know, share with you from my own perspective, my own, you know, personal perspective on this. I mentioned that I'm the daughter of 2 college professors, so I'm very blessed to live in the same hometown that I grew up in, and so I have the opportunity to play tennis with my father. He's retired, but he still teaches 1 class a semester. And for me, wellness means that I can actually keep up with him on the tennis court. It doesn't mean that I can beat him yet. I will one of these days, but it's something that I, you know, continually strive for. So let's turn now, let's talk a little bit about the Riseup program. Again, what's the same, what's different, and let's start first with the communications that you have received and that you will be receiving. So just wanted to review what you've already heard on the program and then be on the lookout for some other communications coming up. So you should have received an email from your employee relations liaison introducing Provant as your new wellness partner. You will be receiving a letter mailed to your homes either this week or beginning of next week from Tom Hopkins from the university system, again with some more information on the new partnership. You've likely received an email from Provant, from our organization, welcoming you to register on the portal, and then once you register, you would have gotten a confirmation email on that as well. Down at the bottom there, it mentions the welcome kit delivered to your home address from Provant. So I wanted to make a note here that actually what you see on the slide is an image of the cover page of the welcome kit. This is a program guide that will be mailed to your homes the first week of January. And so when you receive this in the mail, don't toss it. You'll definitely want to hang on to it. It'll be a very helpful guide to you. All of the information on how to navigate the program and lots of frequently asked questions as well. So registration. So let's chat about this. So we've tried to make this easy for you this year. In order to create an account on the Provant portal, you just need 3 pieces of information. So one is your name, and you just need to enter your name as it is on your pay stub or as it's written on your Cigna card, just so it'll match up with our system. You need your date of birth, and you need a preferred email address. You can use your university email address, or if you'd prefer to use a personal email address, you can do that. If for some reason some of you may not have an email address, there's information on how to create one to make that easy for you. And I would just mention that you do need to create an account for any spouse. If your spouse or your domestic partner is also enrolled on the medical plan, you need to create an account for them as well. Again, use their name as it's written in on their Cigna card or as it's listed in Main Street. So once you register, I would encourage you to explore the portal. I'm actually going to go to the portal because I'd like to just highlight a couple areas here that will be of most interest, and then we'll get into the program itself. So first of all, you do see right in the middle of the portal page is the overview of the Riseup program this year. So you see level 1, complete health assessment, biometric screening, and 10 wellness points. And then level 2, earn 100 additional points. So this structure should be familiar to you. So this is very similar to what you've had in the past, where you have level 1, you need to meet 3 criteria. You would complete the health assessment on the portal. You would have a biometric screening performed either here on campus, or you can take a form to your doctor's office and have the values submitted that way. And then you would earn 10 additional wellness points. We'll go over all of the various opportunities that you have to earn those points. In years past, I believe that it was health assessment, biometric screening, and then 20 points, but we're actually assigning 5 points for the health assessment and screening, so you only have to earn 10 points. You would want to complete these activities before March 31st, and that would be if you want to earn the premium incentive at the soonest available opportunity. If you don't meet that March 31st deadline, don't worry, you still have the opportunity to earn level 1 credit. It's just that you'd have up until the end of the program year, November 30th. But if you want to earn the lower premium at the soonest opportunity, then you'd want to do so before March 31st. So I'm going to actually go here to the 2014 incentive overview, and this pulls up a separate document that gives a little bit more detail, and we'll review here. So again, level 1, these 3 activities, the screening, the assessment, the 10 wellness activity points. And then level 2, you have the opportunity to earn, you need to earn at least 100 points, and there are various opportunities to do that. And I'd like to review these with you. So first of all, we talked in the beginning about trying to make the Riseup program easier to use and more personal and more valuable to you. So one of the big aspects of what we're bringing to you through this program is the opportunity to work with a personal health coach here on campus face-to-face. And so this is something that through the the RFP process, and as we've put this program together, that the university and Provant have invested in hiring Maine-based health coaches who will be dedicated to your campuses. So here, for example, for the University of Maine at Augusta, we have with us today Lacey Bouchard, who's actually going to come up and speak with you in a moment. Lacey has been hired to cover the campuses in the southern tier, so the University of Southern Maine campuses, as well as University of Maine here at Augusta and at Farmington. And so by engaging with the personal health coach or participating in one of Cigna's lifestyle management, healthy babies, disease management programs, right there you can earn 100 points. You can also earn points by engaging in activities on the Provant website. So you can complete a wellness workshop, which is basically it's like a self-paced tutorial on a particular topic. You can also log, water intake, your dietary intake, your exercise, etc., over a period of time to accumulate points. The next area here are campus and community events. So campus events would be with you having a dedicated health coach here on campus, what we hope to get to is that Lacey will hear from you what topics of interest there may be. So if a number of you say that you're interested in learning more about, reducing cholesterol, or maybe it's addressing blood pressure, she can actually work with your campus resources to create a lunch and learn. And so come to the lunch and learn and earn points. And then certainly there's the opportunity as you participate in activities outside of the campus, whether it's a tobacco cessation or weight loss program, or maybe it's running a 5K. Just submitting the race registration form or submitting the completion of that program would earn you points as well. And then lastly, we have this area here on proactive prevention. So we certainly want to encourage people and incentivize people to take care of their preventative exams. And that would be both your appointment with your primary care physician, your annual physical, as well as mammogram, colonoscopy, dental, vision, etc. And we've made this very easy for you so that you're able to report these activities on the portal with just the check of a box. So let me go back to the portal, and I'm going to go back down here, and I'd like to show you where you'd go to know what you've completed. So what we heard from Kavika and team and from you loud and clear is that the program in years past, sometimes it was confusing to know whether you'd met level 1 incentive or not yet. So we've made this very easy for you. So right on the portal on the home page, right in the middle, My Points. So once you click on My Points, this would be personalized to you. And if you scroll down, there's a line right here, Level 1 Rise Up activities completed and Level 1 participation completed. So once you complete those 3 activities, the health assessment, the screening, the 10 points, that will change from 0 points to 20. And you know that you will have met your level 1 criteria. We will also email you as well as an additional way of communicating that you've met level 1 criteria. So keep in mind, though, that if your spouse or domestic partner is enrolled on the Cigna plan, that he or she needs to complete these activities as well in order for you to earn the incentive premium discount. So back to the portal, I'm just going to give a few other comments and highlights here. In addition to the health assessment on the portal, there is a wealth of information, helpful tools, resources. You can contact a dietitian, a trainer, just simply by emailing securely through the portal with any questions you have. You can log your dietary, your exercise. You can also generate a meal plan, look for healthy recipes, and if you put together a meal plan at the click of a button, that translates into a shopping list for you. So some very helpful tools and information that we hope that you'll take advantage of. We've reviewed this here, but I just want to emphasize again that we've tried to make this easy for you, knowing when you've met the level 1 criteria. So again, you would have a line here spelled out on the portal. You should be on the lookout for an email confirmation. And then lastly, what I'll mention, and this goes for really any questions that you have following the session or come January or once you start engaging with the program, we are here to help. We do have a dedicated phone line. It's 1-855-2-RISE-UP. That's the same number that you've had in the past. We actually transferred that phone line from APS Healthcare to Provant. And when you call that number, there's a phone tree that is customized specifically for the University of Maine System Rise Up program. And you would speak with individuals in our East Greenwich office who would be able to help navigate through or answer any questions that you have. Just a couple other notes. I want to just give a little bit more commentary on the health assessment and the screenings. So for the health assessment will be available on January 2nd. So we would encourage you to register for the portal now and then come back in January. Once you get that program guide, that'll be a good reminder for you to hop back on the portal. The assessment is a confidential questionnaire, about 40 questions long, It takes about 10 to 15 minutes to complete. And it's designed in a way where it's, very straightforward. You're not going to find yourself, going down any rat holes here. The health assessment is the reason why it's part of the program. It's an opportunity for you to put together a picture of your self-perceived health. So your own perception of your current health status, your diet, your physical activity, etc., which is a very important part of the equation. Now, the other part of the equation is the screenings, which is by having your biometrics completed. That's sort of the objective, knowing your numbers. And once you put those two things together, the health assessment and the screenings, you get a really nice picture of your current health status. And that should be sort of your own personal dashboard to know where there may be opportunities for you to learn a little bit more, or maybe make a tweak here, or look into participating in a program to make some small change, again, that could improve your current health status. So for the screenings, I do want to mention that one difference this year. So what's the same? What's the same? We'll have the opportunity for you to have a screening here on the campus, here at the University of Maine at Augusta. I believe that you are early in the schedule, and so the screening date is set for Tuesday, January 21st, 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. Is that right? 11, what is it? 7 to 1? Thank you, Kavika. Okay, I thought I had that right. It's Tuesday, January 21st, 7 to 1. This information will be posted on the portal shortly. We're targeting right around December 19th. You'll be able to not only see the schedule, but register for an appointment. And then for those of you who would like to have the biometrics completed with your primary care physician, there is a form that is right on the front page of the portal. I can show you where it is. You would simply download that form, bring it to your healthcare provider. You would complete the top section, and then your primary care physician would complete the bottom section, and he or she would submit that form to Provant. And this is a difference from the program in the past. I understand that in the past, if you had a screening done here at campus or at your doctor's office, that you were entering the biometrics yourself. But we've made it easier for you, where we're going to upload that information for you. And the way that the Provant platform works, we do need to receive that information directly from your doctor's office. So that is a difference from the program in the past. Okay? So health coaching. So again, Kavika in the beginning talked about this year really trying to move from just participation to engagement. So once you have the opportunity to put together this picture of your health, what do you do with it, or what can you do with it? Many of us, myself included, could use some assistance, a sounding board, just the opportunity to brainstorm with someone to get some ideas on some tweaks or some behavior change that you may want to adopt. So we've, again, made the investment in personalized health coaching. I'm going to ask Lacey Bouchard to come up now to talk a little bit about her background and about our approach to health coaching here on the campus.
Good morning, everybody. Just going to skip ahead and tell you a little bit about myself. As Kate announced, my name is Lacey Bouchard. I'm actually the health coach assigned to this campus, so I'm here to kind of present to you today because I will be on your campus, but also to educate you a little bit about what the health coaching is going to be like at all campuses throughout the system. So a little bit about myself first. I was born and raised in the county. If everyone from Maine in here is from Maine, you know the county. I'm from Mars Hill. It's a very small town. If you blink, you would miss it. And my husband is from Caribou, so we're actually Aroostook County folks. I actually graduated from the University of Maine in Orono and went on to work both at TAMIC in Presque Isle for 3 years and Eastern Maine Medical Center in Bangor for an additional 3 years, in which I then moved to Boston, and cannot tell you how excited after 2.5 years of Boston I am to be back in southern Maine. It's just a really good environment to be in, and I'm very excited to be back. I'm very excited with my opportunity with Provant, as I am a registered dietitian and feel that I've kind of landed a dream job that a registered dietitian would be looking for. to kind of tell you a little bit about why I'm so interested in wellness and what it means to myself. My father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. When he was diagnosed, I was actually going to school for physical therapy. I got wrenched into going to his dietitian visit because my mother could not attend, and we wanted to make sure we got all the information that he was supposed to bring home. So I went to that visit, absolutely loved how a person could tell him how to eat and take care of this disease and manage himself, and I wanted to do the same not only for him, but across the community. I thought her job was amazing. She seemed to enjoy what she liked to do. I went and changed majors, went to the university, and started my career. And I'll tell you the small changes that he made, because he's definitely a man that's a little bit stubborn, but just the few small changes he was able to achieve and comply with. He's now off of his diabetes medications. He's lost 30 pounds, and he has that disease well under control. So that's kind of in a nutshell what wellness is to me and where it kind of all began for me personally. So I'd like to just tell you that I'm going to be on site at least once a week to open up the opportunity to be a health coach for all of you individually. So you do have the opportunity to meet with me face to face. I'm also available over the phone if that's necessary or needed. But we're really looking forward to meeting with you and meeting you at where your goals are. So I can't say enough. I'm not going to come meet with you and drive home, oh, your cholesterol is high, you can no longer do this, it has to be this. That's not what I'm going to hammer on you. I want to know what you don't know, what you would like to learn from me, and how I can help you meet your personal goals that you have set forward. And I just like to let you know that the health coaching is a part of your contract. So there's no additional cost for you to come and meet with me. And if you have an enrolled spouse or domestic partner, they're also available to come and meet and have the health coaching done as well. And as Kate did mention, I'm very interested in any topics that arise throughout the campus that would promote me coming and doing a lunch and learn on those topics so that everyone can get some education on things of interest. Any questions that I can answer for you about the health coaching or me being on campus? Yes. Yes. So just to kind of let everyone know what she said, she wants to know if I will be announcing how to contact me. So there'll be a few additional ways. Once you start to register and you go online, there's going to be a few ways of the phone number and getting hold of Provant that you can contact me. And I'll look at Kate just to see if my information will be available once you come in and do your screenings and things as well. So it will be well announced how to get a hold of me and get you started. Absolutely. Any other questions? Okay, I'll turn it back over to Kate, but I look forward to meeting with all of you.
So again, we're very excited about this opportunity to bring personalized health coaching to you here at the campuses. So let me just recap a couple important highlights of what we've talked about. The first is the portal is available for you to register now. Coming, I believe it's December 19th is when we will have the schedule published for the on-site screenings. That's when you can go on the portal and register for an appointment for those on-site screenings. And then again, just a reminder to go back on the portal after the holidays to take care of the health assessment. That would be on January 2nd or following. And then those screenings would take place on campuses between January 21st and February 20th. So we would encourage you to take advantage of that opportunity to have the screening results taken. Again, I do want to emphasize we are here to help. This is a partnership that we are very excited about, and we do have a lot of dedicated resources to support the program. So again, there's the 855-2 Rise Up number that I would encourage you to use for any questions that you may have, or if you need help navigating any aspects of the program. You can also reach us through email with the email address that's listed here. And then lastly, I just want to again reiterate that we see this as an opportunity at Provant. We see this as an opportunity, and frankly, it's an honor to have the ability to bring programming to you in a way that we hope will be meaningful, will be useful, will be helpful, and will help you to maybe make that small change that will improve your own lives. So thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Are there any questions at this point? Yes. Thank you very much for asking that question, because I hadn't explained that as clearly. Yes. So the question is, what are the dates for the biometric screening? So if you decide to have the biometric screening results reported from your doctor's office, we have what we call a look back period. So you can have your doctor fill out that form as long as you've had an appointment anytime from July 1st, 2013, the current year, through the end of the program period, November 30th. So thank you for asking that question. Yes. Yes. Yeah, good. Another good question. Does that look back period also apply for vision exam, for the other preventative care exam? So what I will tell you is this. So the way that the program is designed, the program technically began December 2nd and runs through November 30th. And so technically speaking, those exams are supposed to take place during that period. However, this aspect of the program and earning those points, it's a self-directed component. And so, for example, if you had a dental cleaning in the middle of November, and I can actually show you on the portal where you would enter this, it's just the check of a box. You're not entering a date of that exam. And so we are, giving you sort of the discretion to use. If you feel comfortable in entering that, then by all means. Okay. Yes. Okay, so the question is, for my points, is there any way for you to know if your spouse is qualified? What I would say is, so your spouse will have his or her own portal account, and so the communications for that individual would go to the email address that is entered when that portal account is entered. If you get the notification that you've met your level 1 criteria and you're not sure if you're going to get the incentive, if ideally your spouse would have the ability to just check that on the portal or make sure that that email has been received. If there's any question, then that's a quick call to the office, I would say, just to validate that. But for communications purposes, we do want to communicate with you as a university employee, and then we do need to communicate separately with the spouses in terms of their own completion of the criteria. Sure. Yes. Yeah. So the question is, we like to call, so you're asking, of several spouses who sort of take that accountability role in making sure their spouse, we like to call the role of the healthcare CEO of the family. So I can understand that. And so the question is, when the spouse's account is created on the portal, is it possible that if you have another, email account, a Gmail account that you'd like to use, so that communication would come to you instead, as long as it is a distinct email account from the one that you've used to create your own portal account? Okay? So, right. But in other words, you have the discretion. We're not dictating what email address you would enter there to register for your spouse. And so if you all make the decision that you want to make that an email address where that would actually be pointed to you, then you have that discretion. Does that make sense? But it can't be the same. But it can't be the same as the one that you've used to create your account. Yeah, you should make that a separate one. Okay. Any other questions? Yes. Okay, so the question is, how accommodating is the points accumulation for a working spouse? So what I would tell you is that we've designed the program to have lots of different ways to earn the points. So one, as we've talked about and that we're really trying to promote, is the health coaching, and that is available to your spouse as well. And recognizing, your question specifically with a working spouse may not be quite as easy in terms of coming here and having face-to-face on campus. That's why that coaching is available telephonically as well, and there's some, flexibility in those hours as well. That's probably for that particular scenario what I would say would be, the easiest way to earn those points. But there are also the opportunities through the portal, and that can be 24/7, to complete some workshops in the portal, et cetera. And then, of course, there's the, the participation in activities outside of the campus setting, whether it's in programming or, race participation, et cetera. And then, of course, you've got the preventative exams, which are as easy as checking the box. Yep. Yes. Sure. Okay. So the question is that your town here has a lot of programs for older individuals to get exercise. How can that be used, and how would it be used? The answer is yes. And how it would be used is that we would simply look for some sort of, whether it's a registration form or a completion form to be submitted, giving proof that you've actually participated in that activity. So I hope that what you're getting from this presentation is that this is a participation-based program. We're trying to encourage people to engage and to participate. We're trying to make this easy and not be so overly focused on the process and exactly what do I need to do to meet the steps, but really more in the spirit of giving people the opportunity to engage in wellness. Yes. Sure. So the question is, can I speak to what can be self-reported and what needs to be reported by a medical provider or by the health coach? So what I would tell you is, as compared to the Riseup program in the past, really the difference, the biggest difference is in terms of the biometric screening results. So those results would need to be reported either by your participation in the screening here on campus, and we will upload that data, or by taking the form to your doctor's office and your doctor sending that data to us. But other than that, in terms of the other sort of points accumulation, that aspect of the program, much of that is self-directed, and you have the opportunity to just, fax, mail, or email a form into Provant's office. As far as the activities that Lacey would help report, so your health coach, if there are activities that take place here on campus, a lunch and learn, for example, we're not going to ask everybody who attends that lunch and learn to have to submit a separate form to Provant, because we have this dedicated resource. The health coach will be able to send that registration form with the full listing in to the office. So to clarify, for those community-based events, that information does not need to flow through the health coach. That would be directly submitting the form directly to Provant. And there are very clear instructions on the portal on how to do that. Yeah, you're welcome. Okay, well, thank you very much for your time, and I wish you all happy and healthy holidays. Really appreciate you coming out this morning.
So just a quick summary, folks. Just to reiterate some factual parts from the University of Maine system side. It's a brand new partner, so keep in mind that you cannot use your APS Healthcare username and password, so you'll have to go on and create a new account if you haven't already. Second of all, because we are under the umbrella of there are no tentative agreements or signed contracts, we're actually under the umbrella of pre-existing contracts, which basically means, again, the outline is still level 1 and level 2 are the same as in the previous years. So level 1, you need to make sure that you've completed your health assessment, your biometrics, and you have a minimum of 20 points into your criteria for level 1 in order to meet the premium incentive before the end of March. If you have an enrolled spouse or domestic partner on your plan, they too also have to meet that criteria in order to see the lower premium differential. If you have not met that criteria by the end of March, going into the next month, you'll end up paying the higher premium. But as Kate was articulating earlier, you still have the opportunity to be able to go back in and actually complete those 3 criteria of health assessment biometrics, as well as the minimum of 20 points within the next month or within the next 6 months. Once you've actually done it, you'll actually go back down to the lower premium in the next pay period. It's not retro, it's within that next pay period. So that's important for you to make sure that you're here. So that's the level 1 piece. And then the level 2, if you and or your enrolled spouse or domestic partner that have met the criteria for level 1, level 2 is the financial incentive of $100, that if you've met the level of 100 additional points, either through the portal of actually going on and doing activities, whether it be maybe chronic illness or future mom disease management piece with Cigna and or lifestyle management coaching with perhaps Lacey here at this respective campus at Augusta, you'll actually receive that 100 additional points, and then you can also receive $100 as your incentive. Now, if your spouse or domestic partner also does that, that would be $200. But it's not wagering on you both have to actually do it for the level 2 in order to be able to receive the incentive. It's just the level 1 that's the earmark that you have to be able to do to comply to 1, to be able to see the lower premium, and then 2, to be available for the level 2 perspective as well. Did you have a question? Yeah, so the question, it's a very good question. So rather than going under the understanding that when I say the next pay period, the question is we have not only salaried individuals, we also have hourly staff that actually gets paid on a biweekly period as well. So it is on, I think it occurs, the way that it flows through the system is like the 10th of every month. So to be honest with you, it wouldn't be necessarily the next pay period. Perhaps for biweekly staff, it would be within the next 30-day period. So that's important for you to make sure that you've heard that. Okay, so it would be the next month that you would actually see your premium incentive change, and it would actually go back down. So if it went up, it would actually go back down to the 10%, and it would actually be that for the remainder of the calendar year. You wouldn't have to do anything with regards to level 1. So that being said, let me close with this. Folks, I can't tell you, I had the opportunity along with Tom Hopkins and some other staff members to actually go down and visit Provant down in Rhode Island. I'm ecstatic about this new partnership. The spirit that Lacey brings, the professional administrative abilities that Kate actually brings, hubbed under one particular house as opposed to maybe perhaps our previous experience of being kind of third party out 2 or 3 different ways, and perhaps maybe some of the shared frustrations that we have. I've already found that it's been a pleasurable relationship that we've actually had, and I think that's probably the most important thing and the biggest value that I need for you to be able to take away today, is that it's less business case sense that we're actually trying to approach and more about relationship and fostering that relationship not only between you and your primary care physician, but perhaps actually fostering a relationship with a professional that should be here for you on the level that you would like to be spoken with or talked with or coached with, as opposed to feeling like you're forced to be able to do something. So with that being said, I would encourage each and every one of you, not everyone has the opportunity to be able to either see this as video as we are doing currently right now. Not everyone has the opportunity to be able to come to our sessions. If you can actually walk away and tell one other colleague today perhaps of what you actually learned from today's session and the availability and what's actually available with our new partner in Provant, it would be greatly appreciated, because we all know that it's not going to be one way of communication. It needs to be several different ways, several different times, and with your assistance, we can certainly get through this. Folks, thank you very much for your time. Have a great day.